In this video series, you're going to learn how you can make money blogging. Now, before we get into the exact methods, I want to talk about what you must have to make a successful blogging business. First of all, you're going to need a good layout. A layout that is easy for people to get around on and find what you're trying to show them. You need good content that is constantly updated. That's self-explanatory. People will come to your blog if they feel that you have decent content that they want to read. Have a decent amount of traffic. And that goes without saying. If you get a decent amount of traffic, you will make some money. If you don't get any traffic, of course, you're not going to. And we're going to go over traffic methods in this video series. And the other thing you need is a good monetization strategy. There are a couple things that you can do on a blog to make a decent amount of money without having to work too hard at it. Okay, so those are the things we need to talk about in this video series. Okay, the first thing we're going to need to do is install our blog. And the system we're going to use for blogging is WordPress. The reason we're going to use WordPress is that it has so many things that people have created for you that you can use that it makes your job easier, and they're called plugins. And what will happen is we'll be able to make our blog search engine friendly as well as semi-automate the process of bringing in content. So you should have a niche in mind already. It doesn't matter what niche you're going to target. It should be something that you know something about or are passionate about. That always helps when you're trying to write your own articles. The other thing you can do is find out what's popular just by doing a search on the Google keyword tool for some ideas and see what kind of search traffic you're getting. We're not going to go too much into niche research. We're going to go into the mechanics of creating a blog that will get good traffic and make you good money no matter what niche you target. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is go to wordpress.org and download the newest version of WordPress. So just click on download WordPress and then download the most current version. At this time it's 2.85, but it doesn't really matter what version you're using. So just go ahead and download it. Just click here and download it to your computer. Okay, once you have it downloaded, what you want to do is you want to unzip the files in the WordPress zip folder here. So all you have to do is click on it and use the built-in unzip tool in Windows, or what you can do is you can download a free one called 7-zip. Just do a search on 7-zip and you can download it. And then if you right click, you can go here's 7-zip and extract files. So you can use either one. Then we'll just click OK and that'll extract all the files for us. We now have an extracted directory. In there we have the WordPress directory, and within there we have all the WordPress files. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to upload all that to our server. Now of course you're going to need a domain name and hosting. There are many places where you can get domain names and hosting, and I've listed some in the resources document. Now once you have that all set up, you can upload your files. Now depending on what kind of domain name you bought, whether you bought a domain name with a specific use for your niche or whether you bought what I call a general purpose domain name, will depend on where you're going to upload WordPress. Now what I mean by those are a general purpose domain name is a domain name that you can use in any niche. It might be something like thebestinfoon.com, and then what you can do is in folders put your niche. So we have thebestinfoon.com and then slash, and if we're going to do dog training, we do /dog training. So you can put as many blogs as you want on one domain name if you do it that way. Now the other thing you can do is buy a specific domain name for your niche. So if we were doing dog training, we might have dogtraining.com. Now you're not likely to find that one, but you get the idea. You find one that fits in your niche. I'm going to use a general purpose domain name for our purposes here. Now in order to do this, you're going to need to download an FTP client if you don't already have one. And there's one called FileZilla that you can download for free. And you can use that to upload your files to your server. And this is what FileZilla looks like. On your left side, you can navigate to the file you want to upload or the folder. And on your right side is going to be where your server is. Now what you can do is you can just take the information that your hosting provider gave you to sign into your server. So you have your host, which is going to be your domain name, and then they will have assigned you a username and password for FTP or for your cPanel, and you can just put those in here and click Quick Connect, and it'll connect up for you. It also has a site manager. If you click File and Site Manager, it brings up the site manager, and in here you can store all your domain names. Just click on New Site and then fill out what you want in here. Okay, so I'm going to connect to my domain here. And then I need to go to the directory where my web documents have to preside. Your hosting provider will tell you this, and on this particular hosting provider it has to be in public_HTML. It may be htdocs or something else. It might be in the root directory. Your hosting provider is going to tell you that. So we'll go in here, just double click, and then we're going to create a directory. So if I right click here and create a directory, and then I'm going to call it what my niche is going to be. And in this case I'm going to do one on making candy. So making candy. So what I want to do is make sure that I have my main niche name within my domain. That's very important. So if your niche is making candy like mine is, that's what you need to have in your domain. If it was dog training, that's what you need to have in your domain somewhere. So that's what we're doing here. Using making candy. We'll click on that, and then we'll find our making candy directory in here. Double click on that. And then we can upload our WordPress files. So we go inside here, inside the WordPress directory, and then we have to select all these files. So all you have to do is click Control and then hold that down and then click the A button, and it will select everything. And now we right click our mouse and click Upload. And that'll upload all the WordPress files for us. Now this is going to take a few minutes because there are a number of files there. Okay, so now our queue is empty and everything is uploaded. Now all we have to do is put the URL to our blog in our browser and hit the Enter key, and that'll bring up the install wizard. So in this case it is thebestinfoon.info, which is my domain name, /making candy. So let's go key that in. Okay, and here it is here. So what we do, it tells us we need to create a configuration file. Now it'll try and do this for us, but as you see, it can't write to the directory. So what we have to do is temporarily change the permission of our directory. So let's go back. And then let's go back to our FTP client here. And then what we want to do is make our making candy directory writable temporarily. So let's go back to the directory before it. Find making candy. And we'll right click, do a file attributes, and then we need to make this 777, which is all the boxes clicked. Click OK. And now we can go back and create a configuration file. Okay, here it tells us we're going to need a database, and what we need to do is go and create one. And this isn't as difficult as it sounds. All we have to do is go to our cPanel or to whatever tool your host gives you that allows you to do that. So we'll sign into the cPanel here, and then we'll go create a database. So just go to MySQL databases in cPanel, and then we just create a database. So just as you can see, there's a bunch of them in here already, but we'll just call this Candy. Click Create Database. We'll go back. Now we have to create a username and password to access a database. So we'll call this Candy again, and then give a password here you can remember. We'll just go with password. And then we create our username. Just click here, and then go back. And then you have to attach the username to the password, and to do that you just pick them out of the drop-down list here. So they happen to be sitting right on the top here. Now you'll notice that there are some characters appended to the front here on both the database and the username, and that's just to identify it as belonging to this particular hosting account. So just add user to database after you've picked them both. Make sure all privileges are checked, and add user to database. Okay, your database is now ready to go. So all we have to do now, go back to WordPress and let's continue here. We just put our database name, username, and password in here. So we go back here. Our database name and username are the same here. This is our database name. We'll copy that whole string. This is our username. They happen to be the same, so we can just put them both in here. Database name, username. Password goes in here. And then localhost, that's the name of our host, and that's usually going to be right the way it is. If you just roll down here, you'll see that we have access host as localhost, so that's correct. 99% of the time that's correct. And then a table prefix, we can leave that as it is unless you're going to install multiple WordPress blogs in one database. If you're going to do that, you're going to need to change that for any blogs that you create after the first one. The first one can be WP, but if you're going to create more after that, you're going to have to change these characters at the front. Okay, and then we'll run the install. Okay, here we can give it a preliminary title. Okay, so here I put Making Candy the Fun and Easy Way. Notice that I have my main niche in the title. So make sure you do that as well. So you have it in your title, you have it in your domain name or in your subdomain name, and then you put your email in here. And make sure you got to allow my blog to appear in search engines. You're going to want that, and then click Install WordPress. Okay, here it gives you your username, and here is a temporary password. Make sure you copy that so you can sign in, and then you can change it after you log in the first time. So we'll click it, log in, then we'll click admin, and we'll put our password in here and log in. That password was also emailed to the email address that you entered there. That way, if you forgot to copy it down, at least it'll email it to you. Now what you want to do is change your password. It's warning you about that. So we'll just go and we'll give it a new password down here and update our profile. Okay, and it is now changed and our blog is installed. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to go change the permission back on our folder here. So Making Candy was our directory. Let's change that back to 755. 755. Click OK. That'll protect our directory, make sure nobody can get in there and mess around. Okay, so now our blog is installed. All we have to do now is start adding the plugins and theme that we need. We'll do that in the next video. Now we need to find a theme that's appropriate for our new blog. Now one place you can go is go to wordpress.org and then go to Extend, and then you can go to Themes directory. And here it gives you a huge list of themes that you can use. You'll see the most popular on the right over here, and you'll see the newest themes and recently updated. You can also go and do a search. Okay, so we'll just type in here candy and see what comes up. Okay, and then we can go through these and see if there's one we like. So to view them, all we've got to do is click on the theme name here and then click on preview. And you can see if there's something you like in there. Now, if you don't find anything in here, you can do a Google search. So you may also try your search at Google. So if you click on that, it'll come up and it'll do a Google search for you. And this actually does a search on the site itself. Okay, so it's just another way of searching within the site using Google. Now there's one more thing you can do, and that's do a regular Google search. So just go to google.com and you can search in there. Okay, and then in here we'll put Candy WordPress theme or something like that. just put in your keyword and WordPress theme or a free WordPress theme. There's several ways you can search it. Google search and then see what you can find in here. So those are all ways that you can find themes for your blog. Okay, so I didn't really find one I liked there, so I could do a different search. Let's say chocolate, like a related term. See what we find here. Okay, so I found a decent one here. Found the website, and usually you'll have a preview and a download. So you can do a preview, see if you like it. It should be easy to read and it should have a decent layout. You don't want anything that's all cluttered or that has too much image on the header or that is too jammed together. So this looks really good. So I'm going to use this one. So all I have to do now is download it. Okay, so we'll go to download. And then we'll save it to our directory here. Okay, so here's our zip file here. Inside there are the directory, and inside that are the files. So we need to do the same thing here. We're going to unzip it, extract the files. Then we need to go back to FileZilla. We'll reconnect here. We'll go into our Making Candy directory. Then we need to go to WP-content inside there. That's where all our content resides. In here we have plugins and themes, and that's where we upload these things. So we'll go into themes, and now we upload our theme into there. So we go back to our directory, and then we go inside here and we upload the directory inside the main directory that we unzipped because it's too deep. Okay, so we upload this 79 directory into here. Okay, so that's now all uploaded. Go back to our blog here, and now we go to appearance. Okay, as you see, the theme has shown up in here, so we just click on it. It'll preview it in the window for us, and we just activate it. Okay, and then we can visit the site, and here's what it looks like right now. We don't have any content on it, of course, other than the content that came with it. But that's what our blog is now going to look like as far as the theme's concerned. Now we need to install some plugins. The ones we're going to use are the all-in-one SEO pack, the Google Sitemap Generator. These help us get traffic and do search engine optimization automatically, and WP-O-Matic to semi-automate some of our content. Now to find the plugins, all you have to do is go to wordpress.org, go to Extend, and then Plugins directory. And then you can search for them in here. Now, in the most popular, you're usually going to find the Google Sitemap and the all-in-one SEO pack near the top. They're almost always there. So download those two. When you go click on them and go to the main site here, just click download and then save it to your directory. Okay, and then we'll go back. And then we need the all-in-one SEO pack. Same deal here. Save. And then we want to find WP-O-Matic. Okay, here it is here. Download. Okay, and at this point we now have all of our plugins in our directory. So again, what we need Now we're going to talk about getting traffic to your site. Now this isn't going to be as difficult as you might think. First of all, we've already optimized our blog for the search engines. Secondly, we've set up a big ping list, so every time a post happens, it goes out and it pings all those pinging services, which will bring traffic and web spiders. Okay, now what we need to do now is ensure that we get some real traffic. That's going to get us some traffic started, but let's ramp it up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to burn our feed using something called FeedBurner. So we'll go to feedburner.com. Okay, now FeedBurner is now part of Google, so if you have a Google account, you can automatically get a FeedBurner. So you can just sign in with your Google account, or you can create one right now and sign in. Of course, if you have an AdSense account, you already have a Google account. So let's sign in here. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to put the URL to our feed in FeedBurner, and we just do it right here. And all it is the URL to our site. So in this case, it's thebestinfo.info/making-candy/feed. That's all it is. So your URL/feed is going to be your RSS feed. So we'll put that in there. Okay, click next. Okay, it verifies it, comes up and brings in our feed title from our blog. Also, we have a feed URL down here. So it's our feed address is making candy the easy way all jammed together .feedburner.com. Okay, so we can either change any of that if we want. If we like that the way it is, we click next. Okay, so there is our feed URL there. And we can click next now. We can do a little more configuration. And we'll just click click-throughs here so we can track how often people click back to our site. That's all we need there. We'll click next. Okay, and then if you come down here, we see self-hosted WordPress says use this plugin to help direct your feed traffic through FeedBurner. Okay, so click on that. Okay, we'll download the plugin from here, and then we'll install it on our blog. Okay, so download, we'll put it in our directory here. Okay, let's extract this now. And now we'll upload it to our site here, into our plugins folder. Open up FileZilla. Okay, so we're in our Making Candy directory. We go to DevP Content and Plugins. And we go over here, find our FeedBurner directory. Yeah, we'll just upload the plugin in this case. Okay, now let's go back to our blog here. Go to plugins. Let's activate our FeedBurner feed here. Now we go down to settings. Click on FeedBurner. Now we put our FeedBurner feed in here, so let's go back and get it from FeedBurner. Okay, so all we have to do is right click on a little symbol beside our feed here, and then we want to do copy link location. That's in Firefox. Okay, and then we'll go back here and we'll paste that in there. Okay, we'll save. And that's all set up for us now. Okay, now we want to put a subscription button on our blog, so we'll go back to here. Click on our feed here, go into its dashboard. We want to go to Publicize, and click here on Friendly Graphic. Okay, and then we're going to use the standard button here. This is all we have to do is make sure that's clicked. Come down here, grab this code, copy. Let's go to Appearance, Widgets, grab a text widget, bring it up here, paste our code in there and save. Okay, and then go and have a look now. There is subscribe to the reader. Okay, so that's what we need to do with FeedBurner. Now there are other reasons we did that. We get the benefits of FeedBurner, but we also now can use the FeedBurner feed to direct traffic to our blog, and that's what we're going to do now. Now we're going to submit our FeedBurner feed to a couple of RSS directories. But before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to set up one more stream of monetization, and that's called AdSense for feeds. So we have to go and sign back into our AdSense account now. Okay, so click on the AdSense Setup tab up here, and then go to AdSense for feeds. Okay, and then you can pick here text or image ads, and then frequency, each feed item, every second, every third, or every fourth feed item. That's just when the advertisement will appear. And then you can pick the post length where you want them to appear. Post of any length, 50 words, 100 words, 250, or 500 words. We'll just leave it at any length. Where you want the advertisement to appear, at the bottom or at the top of the feed item. And then you can have AdSense optimize it for you, or you can make the colors yourself here. Just let AdSense do it. Here we can have a channel if we want, just like the channels we used in AdSense for content. And then down here we have to add our feed. Okay, so we're going to add this feed. So we just click on Add. Now we save. Okay, and now our ads have been added to our feed for us automatically. You don't need to do anything further. We'll now have AdSense in our feed. Now if we go back to our blog, and let's click on subscribe in a reader and have a look at our RSS feed. Okay, now you see all these spaces here. This is where our AdSense code will appear. And when people are looking in a reader, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see the AdSense code right underneath where we have watch the video here. So we now have distributed our AdSense code throughout the feed network when people subscribe. So that's a really powerful way to get some more monetization out there using AdSense for feeds. Now what we're going to do is help distribute our feed throughout the feed network, and we're going to submit it to a couple places. Now before we do that, if you look now at our RSS feed, you'll see that we now have AdSense code throughout our feed. Okay, so there's two places we're going to submit our feed. First is one called Feedage. You go to feedage.com, and then you have to open a free account here, and then you can submit your feed. So go ahead and sign up if you don't already have one. If you do, log in and then submit your feed. Okay, after you've signed in, just click on Submit Feed up here. We select our niche. So just pick the one that fits the best here. Go with recreation. Then we submit our FeedBurner feed in here. We just click Submit. And that's it. Now the next one we're going to do is called FeedEgg, and you don't even need to sign up for this one. And there is a link to this in the resources directory. Okay, so just down here, click Add Your Feed. Down here, we'll paste our feed in. Now here we can put some tags in. So I'm going to comma separate mine here, and I'll put in the appropriate tags for our site. Okay, and then we just enter the number they have here, and we save our feed. There, it's now been saved. Okay, so that's going to help us in the search engine, and it's going to get traffic from the feed directory, so that helps a lot as well. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to submit it to a couple of other places. What we're going to do now is submit our site to StumbleUpon. So you need to set up a free account at StumbleUpon. Okay, so you need to set up a free account if you don't already have one. Just click Join StumbleUpon up here. Now just set up your account. Okay, so fill all that out. Click Join Now. Okay, and then you can get an add-on for Firefox. And this is a good thing to do. If you install this, you can click the I like it button and stumble your own site. And that's the first thing you're going to do is stumble your own site. So get this if you don't already have it and install it. Now once it's installed, it looks like this. Okay, so here it is. We have Stumble, which will stumble through sites. I like it, which you're going to click when you get to your own site, which will stumble it. Then the traffic will start up from just doing that. Okay, so let's go back to our own site now. Okay, then we just click on this. I like it. Okay, it pops a little window up here. Verify you're a human, so just key in these characters on here. Click Verify. Tell it it's safe for work. And there it is. You've now stumbled your site, and now as people go through and click on Stumble, it'll appear in their choices. They choose categories as to what they want to stumble. Okay, now the next place we're going to go is to Dig, and we're going to submit our site here. So just join Dig and then submit your site. It's as simple as that. And then every week or so, submit a page of your site and submit one of your articles every week as you put them in there. That way you're going to start getting a lot more traffic just from Dig itself. Okay, so I've logged in here. I'll submit. Okay, so we submit our site URL here. There we go. Okay, so it brings in information from our site, and we can change it here if we want to. We can choose a thumbnail. Now we choose a topic. Okay, here's our preview down here. Now we need to put in this code, make it so that the site knows we're not a robot, and then submit our story. And there it is, we're submitted to Dig. Okay, so any original content you put on your site, every time you write an article, you should submit to Dig. Okay, we've now got everything done that we need to do to our blog. All we need to do is continue to update it with manual content. The video content is going to happen by itself. The traffic is going to happen by itself. We've optimized our blog for search engines, and we have submitted the feeds. We've created a feed burner feed, and we have submitted it to Dig, and we will continue to submit it to Dig and StumbleUpon. So all those things are going to get you lots of traffic, and you will make money when you get traffic. Since we laid our blog out well and we applied the monetization to it, can't help but be a profitable blog. Now the other thing you can consider is to sell your blog once it starts making money as another source of revenue. Now make sure that you use a single domain for your blog. Don't use a general purpose domain if you plan on flipping your blogs. That concludes the series on making money blogging. Okay, let's go look at a couple more ways that we can monetize our site. Now, I mentioned CPA offers through Max Bounty. This is a really good way to do it. When you apply, just point them to your site that you just created. You can just, in the comments, just tell them it's a new site and you're new at CPA offers, but you want to get started. You won't have any problem getting accepted. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to go in and you want to search for offers. So we'll go to search campaigns. And then you can go through here and do a search, but wherever parameters you want to use up here. Okay, so it doesn't really matter whether you have any of these checked because we aren't going to use this. We're going to be strictly promoting from our blog. But over here, you can go and you can pick a category, and this is going to help quite a bit. So the ones that convert the easiest are the email submits. So if we click on that, we'll just do a search campaigns. And then we can go and we can find some in here that might work for us. Now, unfortunately, email submits are also the lowest paying. So see if you can find one that fits in with your site. Okay, so I'm going to put on this, I'm going to look at this Halloween candy survey, and it'll bring up some information for us here. You can click and you can see what the merchant is offering there. Just by clicking on that, you get the page that they will see. Okay, and it's a simple email submit. Enter your email, choose your favorite candy, and submit. That's all there is to it. You get paid if they do that. Okay, here's the terms over here. No incentivized traffic, no email submits, no email marketing, and then you can use these other ones. So that's okay for us. We get $1.10 per lead. So we can go down here and we can get our text link. Okay, so I'm just going to get this tracking code here. It pops up a little window for us. I'm going to grab this and copy. Now, I can put this on my site anywhere I want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it so it shows up on every page. And I do that exactly the same way as we put our AdSense code on there. So we go back to our cPanel, File Manager, and then we make our way to where our site is, which is making candy. WP-content, themes, and do our theme single. This is exactly where we did our AdSense code, and we can edit the file. Now maybe instead of this top block, we want to remove that and put our CPA offer in there. Or what we can do is we can just put it underneath the AdSense code. Okay, so put a couple line breaks in and paste the code in there and save. Okay, now let's go have a look here. Let's just refresh this page here. Okay, there it is. Vote now to get $100 worth of candy free. Okay, so it shows up, and it will show up on every post, just like our AdSense code. Now we'll probably also want to put that on our home page as well. So we go to our site admin, go to pages, edit our home page. Okay, so we'll decide where we're going to put it. Let's put it right above the image here. Paste our code in there, and we'll update the page. View the site. And there it is there. Okay, so that's how you can sneak your CPA offers in there. You might want to find one more to sneak in there as well.